Hello, my miraculous friend. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I'd like to welcome you to the prayer channel. And today is season 1, episode 11, Prayer in Difficult Times. Before we get into everything that I'm going to share with you about it, let's just do ourselves a favor and take a few deep breaths. Get ourselves grounded and centered. And just for a moment, let's breathe in the energy of peace, of stillness, of expansiveness. And breathing out whatever you no longer need. Welcoming this pause in the day to recenter and reconnect with yourself. And knowing that whatever it is that you might be experiencing right now, whatever it is that you most need to hear today, you're going to get exactly what you need. Oh, and with a heart full of gratitude, let's take one more deep breath together. And we can begin. Well, hello again, my miraculous friend, and welcome to the prayer channel. The prayer channel is the place where I share sacred stories and channeled prayers that help you to magnify your miracles. It's where we come together as a community to help to co-create a world of light, love, peace, and joy through prayer, as Mother Mary has asked us to do. So I think about did you ever watch Mr. Rogers when you were a kid? I didn't really watch him that much, but I remember he always would take off his outside shoes and put on his inside shoes. Well, what I like to do is light a candle. And so as we light this candle, we're kind of going from our outside awareness to our inside awareness. And I'm going to set that candle right there in front of Mother Mary. And let's begin with a prayer. Let's start with, I'm going to say my prayer, and then I'm going to also include the prayer that she gave us for this month. Mother, Father, God, great Spirit of the universe, we give thanks for this time together, for this episode of the prayer channel, that we're able to come together as a community in prayer, helping to co-create this planet with light, love, peace, and joy, as you have asked us to do. We're asking that each one of us has our inner eyes, ears, and hearts open as wide as possible, that we're able to really take in whatever it is that we need today that would be for our own upliftment and our own inspiration and our own healing, and for the healing of the planet. It is my intention that these words touch the listener deeply, and that this episode goes out and blesses this whole planet, millions of people, that they hear what they need to hear when they need to hear it. And together, let us say Mother Mary's prayer for the month of August, on this last day of August. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and seek the truth. Be still and be at peace. Amen. All right, my friends. So I'm not sure if anyone's here watching live. I'm going to post a little thing here. So glad to be with you today. If you are hearing me, you can post something in the chat. Let me know that you're here, whether you are live or listening later. Either way, I love to hear from you always and to see how you're doing. So I'm recording this on August 31st of 2021. And I have to say that August has been a very challenging and difficult month for almost everybody that I know, including myself. World events, personal events, weather events, all kinds of things going on. Even though we also had this beautiful energy in the month of August with Mother Mary's Holy Week, her Dormition, her Assumption, we had Being Angel Day. So, we have this mixed energy of, there's some challenging things and there's some beautiful things. And I actually think that that's how life is often. And I wanted to talk to you about difficult times and what we can do during these difficult times and what makes them difficult. So if you think about it, what makes a time a difficult time? And usually it's whatever's going on inside of us, whatever it is that we are experiencing. Usually it's because we're resisting whatever it might be. Now, that doesn't mean that it's wrong to do that. It's just important to recognize that when we resist what's happening, it creates tension inside of us and we're energetically pushing it away. And that makes it more difficult for us, So I'm wondering if your perspective shifted a little bit on the things that you're seeing as difficult, if that might ease the difficulty a little bit. It reminds me of the 12-step, the prayer that they use in 12-step, the Serenity Prayer, which I think it's attributed to St. Francis of Assisi, but I don't think it actually is St. Francis of Assisi. But this beautiful prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Right there, right? So knowing what you can and cannot change, can you change what's going on in other countries? Can you change what's going on in our own country in this very moment? Can you change the outcome of certain things? You can't change the past at all. So what can you change? And there's a serenity in knowing that, you know what, I'm powerless over whatever that might be. That doesn't mean that you can't put out positive causes and positive energy and prayer and all kinds of beautiful things. That's what we're here to be doing as this community. But if we're doing it from a place of like, I don't like this and I want to change it, now we're coming from this kind of push-pull, creates a lot of tension within us. So Mother Mary is encouraging us to take a look at that. And so the next line is, it's God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can. Well, what can we change? We can change ourselves. And it does take a lot of courage. You might need to start having some boundaries. You might need to say something to somebody. You might need to let go of something. You might need to start something. You might need to take an initiative. It could be a lot of things. It takes courage to change things. And then the third line is, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the whole nutshell right there. It's like, what can I change? What can I change? And help me to be discerning about what that is. So that prayer is a beautiful prayer for difficult times. But I am going to go back to this concept of what is difficult and what is not difficult and what happens inside of us. So having worked with people for over 30 years now, I've been working with people in a different focus, holistic health at first, but there's always been a spiritual counseling element to what I've been doing. And now that I'm a coach, a spiritual success coach, I channel prayer from Mother Mary, I'm a messenger, I'm still working with people, and I still find that people fall into two camps when it comes to difficult times. People either completely forget about prayer because they're so hunkered down and thinking that they have to solve the problem, or people really lean into prayer and their prayers are really intense and really focused. And I wrote about this in my book, Meditation is Friendship with God, which you can find on Amazon if you want to take a look at it. I wrote a chapter on prayer where I talk about this and how many people have shared with me that when they're in crisis, that's when their prayers are answered. And I questioned that and I looked to see, well, what's different about when there's a crisis? And usually people are really focused when they're praying and they have a lot of energy when they're praying. And that tends to get results. Meanwhile, when life is going well, we don't necessarily have that focus, although our spiritual practices ask us to. It's like, can you have that focus, but not because it's a crisis? Can you have a focus and an intensity based on love and not from fear? I think this is the question that we're all asking ourselves at this point in our evolution. It's what the Course in Miracles asks us. Which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose love or you're going to choose fear? But notice that no matter which one, the thing that really helps us is the focused intensity. That's what really helps with prayer. So people pray. They have a crisis and then things start to change. If you could pray when you're not in crisis and you could have that focus of, whatever it is your deep heart's desire, things would change for you. I promise you. So what if you're in the camp of people who like you completely forget? And this happens all the time. People say, oh my God, the week I've had. And I said, did you take time to connect this week? Did you take time to pray? And people always say, I don't have time. I didn't have time. I was going. And what's really happening, it's not that they don't have time. You can be driving in the car to the hospital and you have time. You have time to say, God, please be with me. Please help me. Please help my loved one, whatever it might be. There's always time. It's actually a consciousness thing, is that you're not thinking about it. You're thinking from a place of reaction and fear. And that's when it's really good to have a memorized prayer. So for example, the Serenity Prayer, which obviously I have memorized from having gone to 12-step meetings for a long time. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just say that prayer. That prayer helps a lot. What prayers do you have that are memorized? Maybe the Hail Mary. Maybe you do the traditional Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Whatever it is, have that go-to prayer. Maybe it's the Our Father prayer. Maybe if you grew up in the Jewish tradition, you have I can't say the name of it, but it's that cornerstone prayer of Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Whatever it might be, having a memorized prayer can be really helpful. Another one I'm going to offer you right now is a really good one for difficult times, and it is the Unity Prayer of Protection. So I'm going to share this one with you right now as well. This is another one I have memorized. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. That is one of my go-to prayers when times are difficult, because it centers me. And it also calls in the 4 energies, the 4 archangels, without naming them, but the energy of protection, of power, of light. So the light of God surrounds me, the love of God. The other one is love. So light, love, presence, and protection and power. Those are beautiful prayers. And I recommend that you pick one that you have, that you like, and memorize it and have it be your go-to prayer. Because when you're freaked out or it's the middle of the night and you're scared, you're not going to look up something. And if your mind is so frantically worried about something, then trying to come up with your own prayer sometimes can be difficult as well. So I recommend that Unity Prayer Protection. It's really helpful. I'll put this in the show notes for you. I'll put the Serenity Prayer, and I'll also put the Unity Prayer Protection for you. But that's what I recommend. And so maybe you have a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that just simply says pray, so that if you find yourself in a time of crisis and you're one of those people who tends to forget, oh yeah, I could have prayed today. I forgot. I could have asked for help. I could have invoked the angels. We talked about the angels in last week's episode. I forgot I could do these things. We forget. So maybe you put little sticky notes around, or you put a little thing on your phone that's a reminder. At noon every day, you have a little thing that comes up that says pray. That's all it says. And that way, if you're having a particularly difficult time or a difficult day, you won't even remember that you put it in, and that reminder will come up and you'll be like, oh yeah. Or maybe if you don't want people to know that it says pray, maybe you have something like a statement that says all is well. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I think I'm going to do that. You have a reminder that comes up at noon every day that says all is well. Here's another beautiful prayer for you. I'm just remembering all these beautiful prayers of St. Julian of Norwich. All is well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All is well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. There's actually a little tune that goes with it, but I'll put that one in the show notes for you as well, and I'll put that down below. So as you can see, there's these little, you can have just even one line, like the 91st Psalm. I just did a podcast episode. You can go over to my Magnify Your Miracles podcast and check it out on the 91st Psalm. You can just memorize the first line. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. But the first line, I have it right here. I don't have it memorized. Is he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, which that basically means when I'm seeking the refuge of God, I am under this energy of protection and all is well. Or you can memorize the 23rd Psalm, 1 or 2 lines, whatever works for you. It doesn't really matter. So I encourage you, if you're somebody who prays when you're in crisis, I'm encouraging you to pray even when you're not in crisis with that same focus and intensity, but definitely keep praying during your difficult times as well. And pray with confidence. Mother Mary always says when you pray with confidence, it's easier for you to experience the results. And if you're somebody who tends to not pray and you tend to forget, which is totally human, it's okay. I encourage you to pick one that you can memorize. Pick a prayer that speaks to you, that maybe it's from your childhood, maybe it's from a different tradition. It could just even be one line. Maybe it's like the first line of the book of John. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word. And maybe that's the thing that's comforting for you. It doesn't really matter. It matters what works for you, because it takes your mind off of the problem and it's going to put your mind at the level of the solution, whatever that solution might be. So if you're having, people in your life that are having a health crisis, or you're having a health crisis, if we're in, oh my God, health crisis, health crisis, health crisis, that's all we're going to see. But if we can get ourselves up to that place of, oh, God has made me to walk by the still waters and to, be by the grass, and whatever that the rest of that psalm is, you can get out of the anxiousness of it, and you can remember, be still and know that I'm God. Be still, be still. Why do you think Mother Mary asked us in the month of August to practice stillness? Because she knew there was going to be turbulent energy, and we needed to add to our own stillness and the stillness on the planet by practicing that. So whatever you can do to get yourself out of the turbulence, just like a plane, you can rise above it, and then you're going to see possibility. That's where you'll, if there's a message for you about, is there a different doctor or a different protocol or some other answer for you, it'll come when you're above those turbulent clouds. And that's why I'm encouraging you to pray during difficult times, and even not during difficult times, obviously, but it's really important to do it. And sometimes people, they think it's a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of wisdom, because you're tapping into your own inner strength. That reservoir is there to help you during these times. So I promise you that if you pray with intensity and with focus, you will start changing the energy in your environment. You'll start changing your own energy, and you'll get a different outcome because of it. Whatever prayer you want to use, you can use a memorized prayer, or if you have the ability, just put your hand on your heart and say, God, make it okay. Whatever's going on in my life right now, whatever's happening, just make this okay. Come to my aid. Lord, make haste to help me. That's another line from Scripture. All right, my friends. Well, next week we are going to be talking about Mother Mary's birthday. We'll be meeting the day before her birthday, and she will be sharing with me her prayer for the month of September for you. So I'll be doing a live channeling next week on, I think it's September 7th. I'll be doing a live channeling of the prayer for the month of September. So please tune in if you can. And it's so beautiful how the prayer really guides us through the month. And it will be so wonderful to be with you and to share Mother Mary's birthday. It's the day before her birthday. And to really tune into her beautiful energy. All right, my friends. So let's say this prayer one more time, one last time in August. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and seek the truth. Be still and be at peace. If you did enjoy this episode, my friend, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a comment, if you could subscribe, that would be beautiful. If you're on YouTube and you want to interact a little bit more, feel free to join us in our Facebook group, the Prayer Channel, where you can interact with me and ask questions, and we do some beautiful connecting as a community. So thank you once again for tuning in today and being part of this beautiful community where we are co-creating a world of light, love, peace, and joy through prayer. God bless you, my friend. Bye-bye.